This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Netflix. Coming up on Destructoid, GDC is over. The week is coming to an end. We've got some Destructoid editors in the studio with us now, and we are live. Robot helicopter, go!
Hey there, welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
And it's GDC. It's the last fucking day of GDC right now. We got some awesome, important people in the house with us right now. Hamza Aziz, Destructoid's community manager. We got Jordan Devore, associate editor, and associate editor Conrad Zimmerman. Thanks for joining us, guys.
I'm the news editor, Jordan's the PC editor, but we'll get it.
We appreciate it.
You're all associates.
Yeah, you actually got us all wrong. It's amazing.
Wait,
I just refer to Hamza as like
I don't know my own title.
We don't care about our titles.
community badger, you know, professional shark. I don't care. You know, just
So we got some beer here.
Yeah,
we got
some
some scripts that we will probably not follow.
We're gonna have a hard time with that.
We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of GDC, which was this week, which all of us were at like all day, every day. Obviously, awards show. It's a big thing that happens at GDC every year. I always forget that. I forget that there are awards. We got IGF. Fez was the big winner there.
Yeah,
you guys thought that was deserved?
Fez is a great game.
A little bit of drama surrounding that, it seems like.
Yeah, a little bit. Phil Fish had some comments about that. What was it that Phil said?
Well, I don't know about what he said so much, that drama. There's a lot of drama with him.
He said modern Japanese games suck.
Oh, well,
there's different drama with
taken
him.
kind of out of context.
It's true.
Yeah, Kotaku got a hold of it and I think spun a headline like.
That pisses me off. Like Phil's a buddy of mine. Like we see him and we're like, hey, Phil.
I'm almost certain I've made more disparaging remarks about Japan on our
you're
show, and not
racist,
even
man.
about their games, just like about their culture.
Yeah. No, you're horrible.
Yeah, I'm a
cruel
pretty
woman.
awful person. But yeah, the other big award show was GDC Awards, Game Developers Choice.
Yeah. What did they?
Skyrim was the big winner there.
What is that?
I haven't
It's
played
some
it.
game about dragons or
Okay.
something.
Bastion also won Best Downloadable Title and Best New Studio, or Supergiant Games, I guess, did.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was so overrated.
You know what? I never played it, and I wanted to, and then Jim kind of shat on it, and I was like,
Dude,
and
I think Jim
we
hit the
got
nail
the
on the
demo.
head.
Really? Because I haven't finished Bastion yet, but I really like that kind of. It reminded me of a Vanillaware game in a way, in terms of its artistic style and the way that the mechanics worked for crafting and building weapons and things like that. It had a little bit of that flair, so I really appreciated seeing a Western, approach to that gameplay. But
No, I mean, I respected everything they were doing. I love them. It's everything works. It's good. It's put together well. But I just thought that I thought it was just overhyped, you know. And I really am dying to see what they do next. Like I have nothing but like good things to say about the guys. I just wasn't into the game.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't my thing.
Yeah. One big thing, actually, that I know about from Twitter that happened this week is the big reveal of SimCity 5.
Oh boy.
If you were on Twitter, then maybe you saw the hullabaloo.
I'm so glad I didn't go to that.
People were live tweeting it.
Guys, you were there, right?
We were all there.
What happened?
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to forget what happened, to be honest.
Okay.
maybe we should let Twitter tell the story.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Twitter does a pretty good
If you guys
job
ever want to
of
see a train wreck,
explaining.
you know.
Ben Kuchera was pretty actively tweeting.
Now let me remind you guys watching at home. This is a video game. This is a thing that people want. It's a fun thing. It's an exciting thing that people will spend their hard-earned money for to enjoy. And this is the reveal of it.
Okay.
And the people who are professionally excited about it. What happened?
Explain the story for people who don't know.
Here's what happened. EA had this huge hullabaloo, like, hey, we're going to do the big reveal. Everyone knew what game was going to be revealed there. It wasn't like a big secret. So what we were going there was to get, the official word. We were hoping to see some gameplay footage or some content and get some information about what they're doing. We got a little bit of that. It's going, full 3D and so forth. But it wasn't anything that we hadn't already acquired from an earlier leak. And it was on a website that they launched within seconds of the event starting. But they created a 2-hour event. And so they have 30 minutes with Lucy Bradshaw, the producer, up there talking about SimCity and its history and all that crap. And then they had the director of An Inconvenient Truth, followed by, I think, the Twitter co-founder and the CEO of Charity Water. And it was all this
They also
social.
had some IGN people up there too, right?
Well, there was a live stream hosted by IGN. They had one of their writers or journalists. I've never met Len before, I don't think, but he was up there performing an interview with these people. And the Max's SimCity stuff. I mean, it's interesting. We were excited about that. But then once it got to Davis Guggenheim and going on about Inconvenient Truth, and he was just name dropping, and he was really condescending to the audience, and it was all about how great his social
He
progress.
just wanted
shit.
us to feel bad
Yeah, he really
about the
did.
environment.
Yeah.
And so I felt it was kind of like a really disrespectful use of people's time. I mean, we're out at GDC, we're all having a good time.
Yeah.
And we all wanted to see the reveal, but why couldn't they have that reveal, just that's a segment. And then, hey, if you want to stick around and talk about social issues and learn about that stuff, that's cool. But they had us trapped there plied with wine and really actually decent hors d'oeuvres.
Damn.
Let's
Let's have those
we
orders.
was so
complain about
bad,
this
yeah.
stuff, but I mean, it's like this is it's fun work,
Sure.
So then this SimCity is just like, why can't they show us the video game? Like, I was so glad. I was on the train heading downtown to meet up with people, and just on Twitter it was like, when that happens, when that social media thing happens, when there's one thing that's going on and everyone is doing it, and it was just like, it's like the part in Star Wars when they're in the trash compactor, and 3PO's like, oh my God, they're dying, they're being killed,
Twitter
It's like
got
that.
so crazy, it was to the point where we were just sitting there trying to stifle our laughter.
You guys got up and walked out.
We
didn't you?
did.
Yeah, as soon as the first guy was
After-
done
after-
talking.
I heard as soon as you did, a huge group of people just got up and followed you.
A third of the room at least.
That's
Destructoid.
amazing.
Printed it out.
Most of the rest of it, I think, cleared out after the second, or after
Now-
the third portion of the show.
Obviously, this didn't really put EA in people's good graces, and they're already people are kind of pissed at them anyway for like Origin and stuff. Is that correct? Am I?
I mean, this is one of
Fair
those things. It's
assessment.
going to be forgotten about in 2 months. It's
Yeah.
going to be a fun story at
can
talk
GDC
shit
next year,
about
but we
them
can talk
now.
shit about it
It
now.
was just
Yes.
a funny story of GDC.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to check out Medal of Honor Warfighter at all? Because that was kind of one of the other sort of big reveals here.
They had a great PowerPoint for that too.
There wasn't a whole lot of great game stuff at this GDC. I'm not gonna lie. At least on the show floor, everything good that I saw was in a hotel room.
That's usually the way it is.
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
GDC.
GDC's not about the show floor. It's about like devs talking, having these panels. I did go see a Medal of Honor. It looks great. They're using the Frostbite 2 engine now,
Yeah.
so it looks a lot better.
Stay frosty.
I like the multiplayer. They have a cool concept calling it blue versus blue.
Yeah, like having two good teams play
Yeah,
each
so
other.
it's kind of like they're taking the playbook out of FIFA, is what the executive producer basically said. So I could play as American forces while someone in London could play as a SAS soldier, represent their own country's team essentially, and we'll fight it out.
Did you actually? I guess you probably didn't get to play it. It's still
No,
too
they
early.
didn't have it there to play. They just showed a video of a mission, that was it. And then we went to play Battlefield 3.
Oh yeah, they got some new DLC for that, don't they?
Yeah, it's new maps, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New maps.
I'm looking forward not to the one that's coming out soon, but the one afterwards, because it's gonna be all about vehicle combat. So we're gonna have big open maps, like the biggest map they've ever created for a Battlefield game.
Wow.
New vehicles, and just gonna let people go at it on like this giant open space.
What are you talking about now?
They have 3 Battlefield 3 multiplayer or DLC packs coming
Okay,
out.
this is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Well, that's cool.
Anybody else?
I was going to say that the event, the announcement of Medal of Honor, it was so much like Battlefield 3 last year.
That was a pretty painful demonstration last year, too. I was not into
Yeah,
that.
it's weird to just. I mean, like, it's cool. We get to see this game we haven't seen. We get to watch it, and it's like.
But they make such a spectacle, they try to make such a spectacle out of it,
Yeah.
and they think that they've got this really cool thing that they're bringing out and showing. 9 times out of 10, it's something we really don't care about. If you
Yeah.
showed us the game footage, that would be enough.
No, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
They're like, these are actual Navy SEALs, and they could break your fingers without you even noticing. Like, they could sneak up and give you a
Yeah,
prostate
Max,
exam.
You could do that to me.
Yeah, probably. I could.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
it's-
what are you doing later?
And then it's this weird, awkward situation where you're like, okay, so these guys are actual, like, legit special ops guys. We should probably be respectful. And in any case, there's, the bar's not serving right now, so we have to sit here and watch them talk about
I heard they had a
things.
smoke machine. Is that true?
There was a smoke machine.
Yeah. There were a lot of
They used it
mouths.
for 5 minutes at the start of the presentation, and then it stopped.
And it got too foggy.
There was no
Wow.
reason it was
Nobody
there.
could see anything.
Okay, so that was that. Then there was, the Steam
The
box.
Steam stuff, right?
Steam.
Lots of you guys. Oh, I was about to say you probably saw those stickers in San Francisco.
That was
I know
what-
you posted about them on Destructoid.
That was another wonderful thing.
I saw one of those before I knew that it was a
was-
thing, and I was like, oh, there's Gabe Newell.
Someone printed out a
staring at
stack
my chest.
of creepy Gabe Newell stickers and just put them up around town, all over the place. So Gabe Newell was just watching you constantly. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if Valve even has marketing or if they just have like r/gaming. They've got such a weird viral fan base. I mean, someone's
Yeah.
putting up stickers of Gabe Newell. What? what is this
You
industry?
know, the best
What
part
happens
about
here?
this is I think that was the highlight of GDC for a lot of us. I'm not even.
really
I'm being
kinda
100%
sad.
serious here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. So the Steam box, what's up with that? Is that a thing?
They debunked it.
They debunked it?
Totally.
They pushed
because-
it back. They said not now, maybe in the
We're
future.
thinking about it, and really, they need to think about it. They need to think
Yeah.
about it for a very long time because the system, as you know, the sort of rumor mill was suggesting, really sounds to me like the kind of thing. It's going to be entirely dependent on what kind of hardware partners they might get to develop the box because. Steam isn't really, or Valve isn't really a hardware company. They don't have
Yeah.
any experience in that, and I think that in order to be successful with it, they're going to need the backing of someone who has some real experience doing that. So I suspect there's going to be a few companies producing Steam boxes if that ever becomes a reality, but then there's standardization issues and all sorts of stuff. It's a long way out if it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
I really want that to be a thing, though. I want that so bad. Like, I've been dying to get back into PC gaming. I did that when I was younger. I've never had a decent PC in my life. I always had like the shitty end of the stick. And the idea of like a Steam box where it's like, where Gabe Newell, stamps his face on it and it looks like a companion cube and you just plug something into it and you play all the games on Steam. I just want that. I want it.
I think
I want it to be a thing.
It's a fantastic
And
idea.
I want chocolate to come out of it. Make magic chocolate come out of it.
The thing is that we see
Gold chocolate.
digital distribution systems like Apple TV coming along, closed system. If Valve did something, they would do an open system. But then you look at Android's market and the way that all of its shit is structured, and you imagine the hardware the differences in the hardware from one model to the next, and how half the shit doesn't work on half of the hardware.
Yeah.
And you start to see how complicated and difficult a Steam box,
There's a lot
would
of things
really
that
be.
work there. I
So-
mean, look at OnLive,
Yeah.
They've got such a great idea and
Yeah.
and it's actually good, but it doesn't quite have that steam
Yeah.
going for it, Like it never really caught on and
So-
you gotta have a really good internet connection for it.
Yep. For the
A lot
time
of
being,
factors at play.
the Steam box, the best you're going to get is just, go down to the Walgreens and get a humidifier.
Yeah.
Because that is the best Steam box out right now. Put some menthol in
Bum,
there.
bum, ba-dum.
That's a joke. Ladies and gentlemen watching at home, that was a joke for
I've
you.
heard that sound at least 5 times this week.
Okay, so what else do we have? Peter Molyneux is moving out of. He's. Look at him.
Is that
He's
him?
looking into the
That's him.
distance.
It looks so
yeah.
different there. It looks
Yeah.
younger.
He's leaving. He's leaving Lionhead. Lionhead or
Yeah,
Microsoft
it's like
are starting
it's like when
something?
he left Bullfrog, except no one cares.
Yeah.
Well,
I was trying to figure out like what's this company do, and because I went to the 22 Cans website, it's literally one sentence, and it's like what's it say? A great time with a great idea leads to great success. A great team. Sorry, I accidentally mistyped that. A great team with a great idea leads to great success.
that's true. They should have a great website and actually do some shit. you
yeah,
know?
and
That's a
just
great.
had an email to jobs@22cans.com.
Yeah.
So does anybody know at this point what the plan is?
Not really, but just knowing that he's done with Fable for a while, probably permanently, that's making me pretty happy.
It's kinda
I think.
comforting, isn't
I want
it?
him to do something else,
Yeah.
He is quite the visionary.
Wow.
Yes.
As I'm sure he would tell you.
Well, that's the thing. He's a visionary. It's just his vision. He has bigger eyes, I think, a lot of the time than his team is capable
Yeah.
of delivering on. So, hopefully, we'll get some big, ridiculous announcements in 6 months of something that'll never fly, and we can all have fun with
Yeah.
Peter again.
His heart is like a cloud of dreams. Mm-hmm. That's what he does.
It really is. Really is.
He farts rainbows.
So we're gonna come back in just a second. We're gonna talk about our highlights of GDC. I know we've got some good ones, but first we are gonna thank our sponsor, Netflix, which is hands down the best way to stream your favorite TV episodes and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and most importantly, hassle. You can instantly watch unlimited shows and movies right on your PC, your Mac computer, even on your TV if you've got a PS3, Xbox 360, or Nintendo Wii console, and let's face it, you probably do if you're watching this, I hope so. And even better, Netflix is offering all of the Destructoid show viewers a free trial membership. All you have to do is go to netflix.com/Destructoid and sign up. And actually, they just brought Netflix to Ireland and the UK, so you guys can get in on that deal too. Visit netflix.co.uk/Destructoid if you're in the UK. And for you Irish folk, that will be netflix.ie/Destructoid.
They got that for the Vita. I had that on my Vita.
Yeah,
It's
they
the
got it for the
coolest
Vita,
thing.
they got it for the 3DS, right?
I'm gonna go home and build a pillow fort and like watch RoboCop. I'm gonna
Yeah.
just like huddle up.
Oh,
Anyway,
you have a girlfriend.
so back to this.
Sad.
It's not fair.
I don't know how I don't know how I did that. I just
don't
always
either.
make a pillow forts and play with my action figures and stuff.
So, GDC highlights. Conrad, I want to know what the highlight for you is.
For me, the big highlight for the show has been Tim Kaine did a classic game postmortem on the original Fallout, and it was absolutely fascinating because it's one of the landmark RPGs in terms of creating an open world and so forth. But at the time, when he started out, he was just building an engine. He didn't really know what he wanted to do with it. The project was real nebulous. And so he explained this sort of culture of creation at Interplay whereby they didn't have a budget for this game. Development went on for 4 years. The team just sort of doubled in size every year until it ended up around $60. He doesn't even know how much the thing cost at the end of the day, which is really kind of strange. But all sorts of interesting little stories about the development, how it was rejected for Windows 95 certification because it actually worked on Windows NT as well, which is strange.
I was reading about that,
yeah, that was a funny one. But a lot of really just interesting insight into a game that has absolutely changed the way we look at role-playing games. The classic game postmortems are usually released for free on the web at the GDC Vault. They become openly available. They're definitely worth watching every year. Always some really interesting stuff comes out of
Yeah,
that.
I actually wanted to go to that one. I didn't end up making it to any of the panels this year, but that was definitely one that was on my radar. I remember you saying that in the postmortem they were saying that they coded Fallout almost entirely in 2 weeks.
It was a 2-week. So what happened? This was the game was originally based on, in terms of its mechanics, on a pen and paper role-playing game by Steve Jackson game called GURPS. It's an acronym for Generic Universal Role-Play System. And they did not. There was a disagreement over the art direction for Fallout. They thought it was too violent, which is really funny if you look at some Steve Jackson games now. There's a lot of little like happy cartoony violence going on in his stuff. It's not quite as bloody, but John Kowalik does a lot of art for them. He's an artist for Dork Tower. Completely irrelevant. Point
God,
is,
you're such a nerd, Conrad.
I know, right? So Steve Jackson pulled the license for GURPS from Interplay, and they're like, well, shit, we're going to cancel the game unless you can come up with something to recode the entire thing in 2 weeks. And so Tim Kaine said, yeah, I don't remember anything really about that 14-day period, but the entire game was completely recoded from scratch using the new system. The only element of the game that wasn't recoded in that time was the perks, which were implemented sometime shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
It's obscene.
That's the cool thing about GDC is hearing is the postmortems are always interesting. You
There's
hear, like, weird
always a
stuff.
great panel.
I heard like in Saints Row the Third, they almost had an auto-tune voice as like your player
Oh,
voice.
I didn't get to go to that.
I mean, you hear these weird bits of trivia that are like sort of. I mean, it's like director commentaries.
Yeah, I was
in real
about to say
life,
it's like
you know?
DVD commentary almost.
But that's what GDC is about pretty much. Jordan, what did you think?
You know,
What was your
so
thing?
Anti-Chamber, it won technical excellence, I think, for IGF this year. It's when you look at it, people said, "Oh, that's like Portal." It's a first-person puzzle game, sort of almost like a modern adventure game. It's really, really hard to describe. We were talking, myself and the developer. He had it on a laptop, just whipped it out. We sat at a table. He stared at me for 40 minutes while I played it. It was a little awkward because he wouldn't give me any help, but that's all part of the experience. It's sort of like you're learning how to manipulate the game's environment. It has rules that don't quite make sense, but you discover how it goes. It sounds really pretentious when I'm saying it right now, but it's fun, and that's probably the most important part about it. So
Yeah, it definitely has an interesting style.
Yeah, games like that are. I mean, like Portal, or we saw Quantum Conundrum.
Quantum Conundrum,
We'll talk about that in a second. But I mean, games that are you really have to play them.
it's
can't
just
just
really
be like,
abstract.
Yeah.
You can't show somebody like a bunch of colorful stuff and be like, yeah, it's cool, and they're like,
It's really
well,
deep, you
yeah.
guys.
Guys, it's deep. It's
deep.
artsy. It's really high tech and artsy. Hamza, what did you like?
Well,
just
on
asking
the
to be
opposite
polite,
end
I
of the
don't care.
spectrum
Oh,
here,
man.
I love Lollipop Chainsaw. I played it again this past week. I was actually worried about it because I played it at TGS. It was very basic, the combat, the mechanics, and all that. It's a fully fleshed out game now. The combat system is really deep. I feel kind of like it's like No More Heroes, but it's targeted to like a mainstream audience this time around.
I'm really curious to see that does, because it's Suda51, and you're a huge Suda51 fan, and he's very much he's got like a cult fan base.
But the thing that so amazes me about Suda is that every progressive game that he's gotten, it's not only refined mechanics, but it's broadened what I expect its audience should be. Every game that comes along from Suda, I think that one's going to do better than the last one in terms of sales because it's more accessible in terms of content.
Right. Well, that's also just how popularity works. I mean, the more you grow, the more your audience grows.
I think teaming up with James Gunn is a really good choice. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they do together. I actually interviewed James Gunn. We're going to have a video of that up soon. I also interviewed the ridiculously attractive.
So goddamn.
What the hell? Okay, anyway.
What's her name? Jessica?
Oh, the chick cosplaying as Juliet with the
Yeah.
abs. I heard about her
There's
abs.
abs. It's like you read Image Comics and you're like, that's not what human beings look like, and then you meet somebody and you're just like, God damn it.
It's possible to make up abs on, just saying.
Really? I thought she was made in
she
a
probably
factory.
had some amazing ones anyway, but you can make them look even more defined with just some proper shading.
Good to know.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I manscape for that very reason.
Wow, okay. So moving on then.
God, we're professional.
The
We're so
highlight for
professional.
me, game-wise, was probably Quantum Conundrum. I finally got to play it. I saw it at PAX last year, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's a lot like Portal. And then I actually played it, and it's a lot like Portal, but I think it's been so long since I've played Portal now that it's like a whole new experience to me. Back then, you know,
Yeah.
Portal 2 had just come out, and so it was not really all that exciting comparatively. But it looks like a good game. It also looks more polished than it was back when they first showed it.
You have to play it.
Non-game-wise, well, we did the pitch bus thing. That was really fun.
That was pretty
actually, when we went on the Devolver Digital bus and they drove us over the Golden Gate Bridge. We were driving with beers and stuff, and I was like, "Is this legal?" They're like, "Sure."
Yeah, that was fun though. That was a blast doing that. These are the guys who did Serious Sam 3, and they were legitimately going around in a bus picking up indie devs and getting them to pitch games.
Definitely an interesting group of guys.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had some stupid ideas. You guys should go watch that video. That's up on. Is it on Dtoid or Rev3? Yeah, we
It's
got
somewhere.
two channels. It's around. We'll find it. We'll put it.
What
in the
was
thing.
your Moment?
What did I like? Did I write it down? Did I forget?
No.
I never actually figured that out. Sleeping Dogs, I thought was really cool, but I've seen that before. It was
I
the same
finally
thing
got to play
that I previewed. What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. You know, it's very melee heavy,
Yeah.
which is not
Well,
really my
it's
thing.
not. It's not. It's both. It's melee, edge driving.
Yeah,
it's
but
everything.
there's-
They haven't shown off the open world stuff yet to the public.
Yeah, everything I saw was pretty linear.
Yeah.
I was chasing. Can I talk about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was chasing some guy through like a Hong Kong market, and yeah,
It's
it was
the
the
same
same demo
thing,
that
yeah.
they showed before. And then the racing parts of the game, kind of strange. There's like, yeah.
I wasn't
drag
feeling
racing.
the racing that much.
I wasn't feeling it either, but I can see why they put it in.
Yeah,
a
I
game.
see why they got. I think it just needs to be refined a little bit further. It just didn't quite feel right yet, but I think
yeah,
it will be fun.
That's going to be a really good game. I also loved Quantum Conundrum. I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I talked to Kim Swift for a second and just totally was like, yeah, thank you for making this game.
I
Please
interviewed her,
continue
and I was
making
so
games."
nervous. I
Yeah.
probably came across like
Dude,
a
I
complete
interviewed
idiot.
fucking Tony Hawk.
I know. I'm so
interviewed
glad you
Tony
did that because
Hawk.
I would have literally shat myself.
Like I'm not even like a skater. Like I was never into skateboarding, but it's fucking Tony Hawk, guys. Come on. Like
The man he's a little bit weathered now.
he has 4
He's
kids.
aged.
I mean that in
he
a
still
good way.
skateboards. Shut up, Tara.
He's seasoned. is
Shut
what I'm
up,
saying.
Tara. It's Tony Hawk. I interviewed fucking guys.
posted
I
that-
interviewed Tony Hawk.
I posted that picture to Twitter.
Oh, I also hung out with Cliff Blazinski.
Oh,
Did he
yeah.
punch
you?
you? He did not punch
Why
me in
not?
the face. I don't know. We just hung out and we talked about. I told him that I'd had a dream the night before about getting caught sneaking around in his house, and that he basically took me into the room and brought out practice wooden swords. And then, as a way of me having to apologize for getting caught in his house, he made me buy Lego sets. And what he took away from me telling him this totally weird, embarrassing story to his face was, actually, it's not Legos, it's Lego. Big pet peeve of mine. And I was just like,
Wow.
all right.
He is like an alternate dimension of you.
It was pretty surreal. I'm not gonna lie. He's a nice guy though. He didn't try and punch me.
I'd have pulled the
there's
same
that.
shit on you, so.
I
that's,
give our interactions an 8 out of 10. Solid
Right on.
8 out of 10.
That's good.
But yeah, this is our live show. It's been
As
it's
you
been
can
fun.
tell, we're pretty low on energy today.
It's
'cause I
been a
think-
long week.
I think we all just wanted the sun to not come up this morning, but it did.
Sometimes I wish we were all dead.
Yeah.
Me too.
But on that note, yeah, it's been a long week. Thank you guys for coming in. Conrad,
Yeah,
Conrad
thanks for
Zimmerman,
having us.
Jordan Devore, and Hamza Aziz. Everybody, you can catch their work over on Destructoid.com. They've been posting a lot of shit, a lot of things you can read. We didn't even try to cover the news today, but yeah, Conrad, you're Conrad Zimmerman on Twitter. You are Dtoid Jordan, and you are the CTZ at CTZ. Just
Get that right.
You get those
Get that-
three. Shut up, Hamza. You're an ass. You're terrible.
Charlie Tango Zeta. That's
Yeah.
Hamza.
Cybernetic Tigers.
Tiger Z.
Tigers. You watched a lot of Zoids, didn't
Fucking
you?
wrap the show.
Anyway, of course, you can follow Tara. She's Tara Longest. I am at Max Scoville, and together we are the @Dtoid Show. God, Twitter's dumb, but it's fun. We like Twitter. It's really a blast.
Follow us on Twitter. We need it.
Also, please check out our new YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/rev3games. That is where we are putting new stuff that is things and stuff. We got some segments up. Like I said, I interviewed fucking Tony Hawk, guys. I interviewed Tony Hawk.
You touched him.
I touched his shoulder. Never
was
washing my
weird.
hand again. And we did the pitch bus thing with Devolver Digital. That's a lot of fun. That's up now. And Tara actually somehow managed to play I Am Alive.
Yeah.
And she put up a review for that.
I'm still
so
getting used to the
you can
video
go
review thing.
Check that out.
I don't think I have the right voice for video reviews.
You should do a funny voice like I do.
That's
People hate me.
actually a good idea.
Yeah, do a Mickey Mouse voice.
I might do
But
that.
thank you guys so much for joining us. It's very fun. I'm glad we could drink beer. That's always good. But I guess we can say goodbye.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
it.
at home, be nice to each other. Stop being mean.
I'm
But
sorry we didn't take your questions today,
Yeah.
but we've got guests.
You had friends
so that
over,
would
and you
be
guys are a little bit embarrassed. I'm just gonna put that out there. But I love you, and have a good weekend, everybody.
Good night, guys.